Hello, my name is Matthew Pfeiffer with mattpfeiffercoaching.com. Welcome to my YouTube channel. On this channel, I create videos and content about toxic, narcissistically abusive relationships. And if you have a question that you would like for me to answer, make sure you send it to justaskmatt at mattpfeiffercoaching.com. Again, that is justaskmatt at mattpfeiffercoaching.com. So make sure you keep that email 2 to 3 paragraphs max, and you're also very direct and to the point of what your question actually is. If it's too long, if it's too lengthy, or if I don't understand what you're asking, unfortunately, I will not be able to get to it. Also, make sure you hit the bell notification and you hit the subscribe notification so you're notified each and every time I upload new videos. I upload new videos on this channel 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. With all that being said, let's get into today's email. So this email comes from a person who is struggling on how to process a breakup with someone that she dated, but she ended up having a baby with this person that she dated, and this person ended up being in a relationship. And so we'll go into the details and help this person break down the scenario and how to make sure that they don't pass on this generational trauma on to the child. So let's get into today's email. Hey Matt, about 5 years ago, I had the strength to leave an abusive relationship after 16 years. I saw a therapist and came out stronger, but not over the bad choices. So they were still making bad choices in the dating realm, and that's very, very common. 2 years later, I am, and they put in quotes, friended by a very handsome man on IG. We start chatting and eventually meet in person, and we hit it off. We saw each other about 2 times a week and video chatted throughout the day, every single day. So one of the things that I want to mention here is a lot of times people, when they find someone, both men and women do this, a lot of times they find someone, they meet someone that's very attractive on IG or online, and because of that, they put this person on a pedestal because they find this person so attractive. And so a lot of times we fly past certain red flags. We give people passes because we have them on a pedestal. We think they're perfect, or we think they're overly handsome, overly beautiful, and so we give them passes that they don't deserve. They have not earned the right. You hear me say this all the time, slow down. I don't care how handsome they are. I don't care how beautiful they are. I don't care if they make 6 figures. I don't care if they're 6 foot, right? I hear all these stories all the time where people give passes because they fit the mold, right? They fit the script. Right? We're not looking to check off boxes. We don't read people like a resume. Read people like a book. Take your time, read page by page, chapter by chapter, because yes, people can check boxes off. People can look good on a resume, but when you start reading the details slowly over time, right? You start getting into the nitty-gritty, you start getting into the details of this person. Whole different story. You're going to hear some elements of that. So let's keep a bookmark there and let's continue on with this email. I video chatted with his kids and even met them in person. This is concerning. This sounds like this is a great idea. For a lot of people, when you start meeting kids and family members, a lot of times people think that this is something positive. I'm going to show you the reason why this is a red flag. So this email continues. Let's put another bookmark there. After about 6 months, he started talking about having a child with me. Bam, there it is. 6 months of talking, right? So less than 6 months, we're already making children. We're already FaceTiming each and every single day. I'm hearing already a lack of boundaries. Had you slowed this process down, you likely would have seen a lot of red flags starting to pop up. Quite often, people spend so much time with someone in the beginning, right? And what happens is that this is what love bombing looks like. A lot of times people think it's the expensive dates and things like that. It's not just that, right? It can be that, but a lot of times it's not being able to get off the phone, thinking about them and staying on their mind, staying on the phone with them, getting the kids involved really quick, very soon, and then talking about pregnancy within 6 months, right? We have things moving along very quickly. That is not a good thing, because we have to understand that the first 6 to 12 months is the honeymoon phase. You don't even know who this person is really, right? Let's continue with this email. Every month he asked if I'm pregnant, and I responded, no, I can't get pregnant. I'm too old. I am 39 at this point. He suggests I go to a fertility clinic. We are making life-altering decisions with someone that we know less than a year, right? Think about that for a second. How many times I saw a comedian say this one time: I bought a shirt 6 months ago and I regret buying that shirt 6 months ago, right? And quite often we don't think about that in terms of people. Think about how long it actually takes to get to know someone, right? So first 6 to 12 months is the honeymoon phase. The next 12 to 24 months after that is what's called the doubting phase. You're even wondering if they're even going to fit into your life, right? And that's in a healthy relationship. Forget about toxic relationships, right? So we have to slow these processes down, because people who are toxic, people who are narcissistic, want to lock you in as quickly as they can, because they know that they're not sustaining this image, right? They know who they actually really are, right? And so what happens is that if they successfully, within those first few weeks or months, get you pregnant, buy a house, you're married, engaged, you're locked in, right? Not only emotionally, but they have ties to you that you now have to stay in touch with them. It's the reason why I tell people, slow the hell down. Is there anything wrong with having kids? No. Is there anything wrong with buying houses, getting married? No. None of those. There's nothing wrong with any of those things. But when you do them too soon, right, there's a potential for this to be very problematic. And let's continue with this email. He suggested I go to a fertility clinic. He does this for 6 months until I agree. So until she agrees, meaning that she didn't agree, right? So we now have someone that is pushing her boundaries, right? And so we need to pay attention to these type of things when we're in situations like this. These are major, major red flags very, very early. The day I make the appointment, he tells me he is married. There we have it, right? The minute that he knew that she was locked in, the minute that and a lot of times people will say, I had no idea that this person was like this until I got pregnant, until I got engaged, until we got married, until we moved in together. Once they have you locked in, all of a sudden, mask off, right? And so once this person knew that he had her locked in, all of a sudden, mask off, right? But we had multiple red flags before this point, right? And I'm not getting on this person. I just want everyone to learn and understand, right? And what we're gonna solve the issue that this person has here in a second. He tells me that he's married. There are a ton of stories. He is your typical insecure boy in the body of a toxic narcissistic man. 6 weeks later, I find out, spontaneously got pregnant, no intervention. I kept the baby and now have a beautiful 17-month-old. I told his wife 7 months ago. They are still together. I haven't seen or spoken to him in about 10 months. My heart still hurts. I will not lie. How do I raise my daughter to not feel my hurt from her father so that she can make better choices with men? Thank you for your help. So the way that you handle this is that you heal yourself. You mentioned that you're in therapy. But if you're still hurting, you have to begin to educate yourself and begin to put those pieces back together. The fastest way to heal your children is to heal yourself first. You hear people saying that you can't pour out of an empty cup, right? And that can't be any more true, right? And I know that people toss that term around and toss that phrase around a lot, but you can't offer her something. You can't teach her lessons that you have not learned yourself. How else would you be able to explain it to her? How else would you be able to teach her things? And what that requires, guess what? That requires for you to be emotionally intelligent. Now also requires for you to have a level of vulnerability with her, right? So the reason why I paused and I mentioned a lot of red flags and a lot of boundaries that were missed in this situation with her father is that you need to make sure, right, that you learn and that you put those pieces back together for yourself first. Right, before we start to try to teach and to correct others. So then, guess what? When she begins to start dating and when she starts to talk and when she starts to asking questions about you and her father, or when she starts asking questions about her dating, and even before any of that stuff happens, we have to start teaching her boundaries early, very early, right? 17 months, it's not too early to start now. Right? But we can't teach something that we have not learned ourselves. Now, it doesn't mean you have to be perfect, right? You don't have to be the perfect parent. And as a matter of fact, let me take that one step further. being the perfect parent could potentially make things worse. We want to be an authentic parent, teaching boundaries, teaching healthy relationships, teaching emotional intelligence, and teaching good, healthy mental and emotional hygiene. So thank you very much for writing in. Anyone else who would like to write in, make sure you send it to justaskmatt@mattpfeiffercoaching.com. Again, that is justaskmatt@mattpfeiffercoaching.com. Make sure you keep that email 2 to 3 paragraphs max. Be very direct and to the point of what your question actually is. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, you can book a paid one-on-one coaching session. I also have other services that are linked down below. With all that being said, thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity to watch and to participate on my channel. And I will talk to you in the next video.